Egyptian mass media announced the death of Hussein al-Qarni. He was a very interesting person. He was the most famous executioner, not only in Egypt, but worldwide. Over his 20-year career of hard work, naturally it was hard work, he fulfilled 1,070 death penalties by hanging. He was called a righteous person in his life, and in his free time tried to help the poor and needy. In an interview, Hussein al-Qarni admitted to loving his work, but that it stood in the way of his personal life. Al-Qarni also starred in several movies as an executioner. The question I'd like to ask is it possible to love such a job?
First of all, such professions exist according to the Torah.
Indeed.
You cannot do without an executioner.
You cannot do without him.
Right, you have a midwife on one side, death on the other, and an executioner in the middle.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
You're born, and somewhere along the way, if things don't work out, the executioner puts an end to it all.
Right.
Or you arrive at death. Interesting. So actually there is a need for it, a need for an executioner.
Of course you must have it. It's provided by the laws.
So in this case, you believe that the person can say, I am carrying out the law by being an executioner, and I even love my job.
And what if you're a judge, and you see the facts of the case in front of you, and that you're obliged to issue a death penalty? Then you must do so.
Where does a person get this desire, that I want to be an executioner? Where does this come from in a person?
This exists.
It exists in a person?
There are types of people who, according to the root of their souls, are drawn to be butchers, to butcher cattle, to slice...
At the meat packing...
Right, to cut meat.
And some choose to be executioners, right?
Yes.
And some become surgeons.
All of this is life. It's all a program of correcting desires that the Creator has made. There is no escape from it.
Then what is a person's correction? Let's say that a person is an evildoer or an executioner. What would constitute his correction? Does he have to strive to break free from it or become the opposite? Maybe to become a midwife or to give life somehow? Should one strive for this?
We can talk about this all day and we still won't reach any conclusions. Every person will still live the destiny that is intended for him. After living through everything that has happened to you, you open up the card that says everything about you, who you are, what you are, and you see that it was already written this way.
So no matter how you try to twist and turn it around...
Afterwards, when you are given a chance to see it, you see that there is no free choice, nothing, and there is no one to hold accountable.
Right, so then I have the following question about us. I have to ask it. What then is the purpose of our dissemination when we bring people closer to the wisdom of Cabalá?
Our dissemination too is included in the general system.
But if one is destined to be an executioner, he'll remain an executioner.
Right. If one is destined to come to the realization of his soul because of our ad or video clip or lesson,
then he'll come to this realization.
He will, and therefore we must do it.
Then I'm curious, can one remain an executioner and still come to the wisdom of Cabalá?
Why not?
Really?
Why not? I don't understand. An executioner is not a sinner. An executioner could be a righteous person. This is simply his job. And how is his job any worse than a butcher or a chef or anyone else? He's carrying out the directives of society to shield it from evil. Therefore, we must treat him as someone who's doing major corrections in the world.
So in essence, our wisdom can be studied by a person working in any profession.
Of course.
Anyone at all?
As long as it doesn't contradict the correction of the world.
Please clarify this last statement.
As long as through his profession, his job, or actions, a person does not facilitate the rise of egoism in the world, greater opposition between good and evil, but on the contrary brings the world to greater balance.
Well, this is what he comes to when he begins to study our wisdom. This is what one comes to.
Besides that, he is also killing sinners, assuming that there is a fair trial that decides that this person should be put to death.
You're talking about the executioner, right?
Yes, so he chops off his head and frees the world from a wicked person.
I see. Can you give a one-sentence conclusion?
Oh, if someone could give me a good axe.
Oh, the chopping I do.
You wanted a good summary? There, you have it.